Vince McMahon is getting sued, AEW is canceling a TV show, and so much more. I'm going to put the timestamps in the description down below. We're going to kick things off today with some very interesting news surrounding WWE NXT and a potential call-up. We're talking about Andre Chase. Guys, if you missed WWE NXT last night, well, you may have missed that Andre Chase is teasing a departure. Yeah, so it sounds actually very interesting. Andre Chase hinted on Twitter that his time on NXT has come to an end. He put out a tweet saying, "It's been a hell of a ride, NXT. This is a teachable moment. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings." We saw Andre Chase go toe-to-toe with Braun Breaker. Obviously, Braun Breaker is a heel right now. And listen, I'm very curious to see what they actually do with Andre Chase if he does, in fact, go to the main roster. I've said for a while that this guy is absolutely ready for the main roster. But of course, the IWC and people in general will sit here and say, oh, well, he's going to get buried. They're not going to give him a shot. They're not going to push him. They're not going to do these things. And I always like to say that every WWE superstar plays a role on a television show, and it is no different whatsoever than from a Hollywood movie. That means there are wrestlers who are going to be part of the supporting role. And I think Andre Chase is one of those guys where I wouldn't expect him to have this huge win streak. I wouldn't have this expectation for him to go and chase gold. I have this expectation where Andre Chase has to go to WWE Raw or SmackDown and entertain the crowd, entertain the fans, get over with the fans, and be a character that becomes popular and one that becomes entertaining and perhaps even comedic, just like he did in NXT. Now, with that being said, I think in the long run, you should never prevent somebody of that type of character to win championship gold. But if you have this expectation that Andre Chase is going to go up to the main roster and immediately become a champion, or, I think that's a little bit ridiculous. But nonetheless, I like Andre Chase. I think he's done an incredible job, going into WWE, NXT 2.0, NXT 3.0, and then basically just kicking ass, getting over on his own with his character work. This guy's great. And not to mention, he is actually a good wrestler. So if they do want to have him go serious or repackage at any point in time, they definitely can do that. Guys, what is going on with Nick Khan and WWE? Nick Khan reportedly sent a text message or an email, basically just letting everybody that works at WWE know that they have to return to the company to work full time. And now, here's the thing. For those who don't know, because of the pandemic, WWE superstars obviously had a very, very interesting job with WWE because travel plans, and there was just so much stuff that was going on. A lot of the wrestlers, typically went to the Performance Center, and then they did the Thunderdome and stuff like that. Now, at the same time, employees backstage were actually in a situation where some of them didn't have to go to the office. Some people were able to work remotely. Now, the full letter leaked, and basically Nick Khan was just talking about their ability to interact with one another, right? And basically, look, long story short, Nick Khan is asking all of the employees from a backstage perspective, from an office perspective, that they have to return to the company full-time in the office for 5 days a week, starting May 1st, 2023. So for those who are based out in Stamford, this is a big change, right? Now, here's the thing. I can only speak from my personal experience when it comes to work from home. Depending on the job, it makes more sense for people to be in the office. Depending on the role that you have, it depends, right? Like if you are somebody who works in an office and you are productive and you don't need teamwork, work from home it's a great thing, right? But there are some jobs out there that exist where you're not going to have high productivity. Plus, you got to think WWE is merging with the UFC. They got the Endeavor deal going on. It might make sense for people to be backstage. Not backstage, but in the office, in the headquarters, right? So this is an interesting time period. What is WWE's culture really like for those who aren't a WWE superstar? I think that is something that we all got to pay attention to. I'm very intrigued to see how all of this goes down. Is it for better or is it for worse? Guys, we got to talk about AEW. That's right. It seems like AEW has canceled a TV show. In fact, if you go on Fight TV, you can see it for yourself. In the description of Dark Elevation, Fight TV wrote in the description, the special and final episode of Elevation. It's Best of Elevation airing on Fight. The episode is throwing it back to some of the best matches that we have seen on our Monday nights over the years. And here's the thing, Tony Khan, AEW have not made a formal announcement, but we know AEW is launching AEW Collision. Obviously, Dark Elevation is a very pointless show. There is no need whatsoever to actually utilize that show. You have AEW Dark, you have AEW Rampage, you have AEW Collision, you have AEW Dynamite. This to me makes a lot of sense. In fact, if I was AEW, if I was Tony Khan, honestly, I'd get rid of AEW Dark as well. You have ROH. A lot of the people are being used for ROH are being used for AEW Dark. I just think it is pointless. I think it is pointless, and I have to imagine from a monetary standpoint, it probably doesn't make that much sense to have all of these shows being taped and produced and edited and distributed. So at the end of the day, I actually think this is a good move. I think AEW getting rid of one of the shows is a good idea. At the end of the day, what AEW needs to do is create compelling television, and they have A, which is Dynamite, Rampage, which is the B show. We don't even know what Collision will be. But unless your A show is perfect, to spend money and invest in other content, I find that to be a very, very, very questionable decision. But at the end of the day, it's not my money, so I don't necessarily care. I don't watch Dark Elevation. I don't watch AEW Dark anymore. I used to. I used to watch it from time to time, but there's no point to it. There's no point to it whatsoever, so therefore I choose not to watch it. Now, if I was Tony Khan, I would be focusing on the shows that could get me to watch their show. And those would be the Dynamites, the Rampage, and then, of course, Collision. So, interesting stuff, but I think this is a good move for AEW. Free up some of that money that you're spending on it, and obviously free up the roster. Plus, you got house shows and stuff coming soon, too. You just got to do away with it. And then, guys, we got to talk a little bit about this major story about WWE. Vince McMahon reportedly being sued yet again. According to a story from Bloomberg Law, a lawsuit has been filed against WWE, Vince McMahon, and other executives for allegedly discriminating against a black female writer for objecting to offensively racist and stereotypical jargon that was used in scripts for black wrestlers, including Bianca Belair and Apollo Crews. Bloomberg News wrote, Brittany Abrams, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, multiple complaints were ignored and she was pretextually terminated for taking home a WrestleMania branded chair, according to the complaint filed in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York on Monday. Brittany started working for both Raw and SmackDown in 2000 per the complaint. One of the things referenced in the complaint was Belair allegedly being instructed to say, don't make me take off my earrings and beat your ass. It was also stated that Cruz was told to speak with a stereotypical and exaggerated Nigerian accent. So Brittany also says that she complained she was the subject to a number of racist pitches on a Slack thread with Vince and Stephanie included. Other writers suggested a black male wrestler should dress in drag, but the pitch was scrapped when a white writer said that this could perpetuate harmful stereotypes that could offend viewers. In another instance, it was proposed by a writer to have a Muslim wrestler's secret revealed to be that he was behind the 9/11 attacks. Yeah. This is a lot to unfold. WWE obviously can't stay away from the drama right now. Vince McMahon obviously can't stay away from the drama right now. Endeavor definitely doesn't need this. I'll keep you guys updated in terms of how the lawsuit goes. But as of right now, WWE has yet to respond to anything regarding the lawsuit. So is this lawsuit one that actually has merit? Is it one that just gets tossed out? I have zero idea. But at the same time, too, Vince McMahon, yet again, in the headlines for another lawsuit. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.